Hey guys, Buckner Gaming here, bringing you back another video for the weapon conversion series. And today what we're going to do is turn the AUG submachine gun into the Steyr AUG HBAR. So the SUG 77 variant we already covered in a previous video. So this time we're doing the HBAR from Modern Warfare 2. So I'm going to show you how to make that weapon. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So here we have our finished product. So I'll strip this down and we'll go ahead and go through it, and we're going to build this from scratch. So here we have our variant of the SMG. So the AUG SMG, which fires a 9mm parabellum. So we're going to, first for the muzzle, we're going to throw a compensator on. So what the compensator is going to do is help with our recoil control, and then the only cons are ADS speed and aiming stability. So again, this is kind of a personal preference item. For the recoil control, being that you're going to be typically firing off more than just a few rounds with the ammunition that we're going to be carrying, we're going to want some recoil control on this one. The barrel, we're going to want that 622mm long barrel. So the HBAR in real life carries a 620mm barrel, so this obviously just 2mm larger. So this one's going to improve damage at range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. The cons here are the ADS speed and the movement speed, but we're going to compensate with that elsewhere. So next up, laser, we're going to skip. We're actually going to skip out on the optic for this build. You can select the integral 3x optic, which is standard with the AUGs. This comes as standard scopes on these rifles. So we're going to skip out on this. Another one that I've played with is the integral hybrid sight. This one works well as well, but we're going to want to compensate for the recoil and the ADS speed. So we're going to skip out on the optic. And if you played Modern Warfare 2, you're used to these iron sights, and they're pretty much the same. For the stock, we're going to go ahead and use that Ford's Tech CQB stock. Now, this isn't typical for a light machine gun or a squad automatic weapon like this, but what this is going to do is improve our ADS speed, and we need that wherever we can get it. So we're going to go ahead and put the Ford's Tech CQB comb on there. The perk we're going to skip. Rear grip, we're going to use the stipple grip tape. So this is going to also improve our ADS speed as well as our sprint to fire speed. And the next one would be the ammunition. We're going to want that 5.56 NATO 60-round drum for the HBAR. So in real life, the HBAR takes a 30 to 42 round box mag, but in Modern Warfare 2, if you ran extended mags, you got a 62 or 63 round magazine on it. So to replicate that, we're going to go with the 60 round drum mag. And that's 5 attachments. Another item for the underbarrel, you can choose if you wanted to throw something in here. I'm going to leave it off just because it comes with the standard underbarrel that the AUG has, and that works pretty well for this build. So this is the finished product. This is our HBAR from Modern Warfare 2. And again, a lot of this is customizable to how you want to run it. If you want to run sights and just run a standard stock on this, feel free. You can also skip out on the muzzle attachment. You don't really need that if you don't want it and you want to throw a scope on there instead. So here's the HBAR. Let's go ahead and get a game, take a look at the recoil patterns, and then we'll play with it against the bots and see how it performs in game. Okay, so now that we're in game, let's go ahead and check out the recoil on this. So first I'm going to fire it standing, and I'm not going to control my recoil. Just going to let it rip. So you can see, just like the standard SMG variant and the SUG 77 assault rifle that we covered, the climb is straight up. So it's just straight vertical recoil. Now if we were to control it, since we have a compensator on, it should help us mitigate that muzzle climb. So let's control the recoil this time. And you can see they're very accurate. Look, that's an extremely tight cluster right there. So if I'm aiming at someone's chest or head, there's not a lot of bullet deviation there. So that's really good. Now, since we don't have a bipod on this build, unfortunately, it's not selectable for the underbarrel attachments for the HBAR. Crouching or prone isn't going to help improve our accuracy at all. But if we control it here and crouch, we'll just double check. So I think it's going to be about the same, right? So that even looks worse from when I was standing, but just based on how you control it. So there you go, recoil patterns for the HBAR. Definitely a good looking weapon. The cool thing about the AUG is you can make plenty of guns out of this, and you can see with that the attachments we have on, the ADS speed on this is much faster, especially sprint to fire. You can see, and if you were to play, I had a couple builds on it where I had some sights on it and a heavy duty stock, and it was just so slow that it wouldn't really be usable in a game situation. But this one, you can see, is definitely usable in game. So this is the AUG HBAR, SCG-77 HBAR variant. Let's go ahead and get in game now against some bots and see how it handles. Okay, so now that we're in game against some bots, we're going to see how the HBAR performs. So again, this is a variant of the AUG SMG. We already covered the SCG-77 in a previous video, which is the assault rifle variant of this. So if you want to see that one, go ahead and check out on the channel, and I'll link it after the video as well, and try to get it in the below in the description for this as well. So the cool thing about the AUG in real life is that you can swap out the barrels. So there's a couple different variants you can make for this. Is the SMG variant that we saw, that is standard for the game, the assault rifle variant, the HBAR here. There's a carbine variant as well as a sniper variant for a DMR. Maybe it's a DMR, I have to double check, but you can swap the barrels out very easily. So that's a good part of the design. It is a bullpup rifle, as we covered in the previous video. And you can see the ADS time and the damage for this stays true with the SCG-77 that we covered. Very high damage. The good thing is you have a 60-round drum mag here, so you don't need to reload as often as you would with if you're running 9mm Parabellum or the 5.56 assault rifle 30-round mag. So the AUG was adopted into service by the Austrian Army in 1977, maybe it was 78, 1977, I believe, and that's been their main rifle in service ever since. So it was in service from 1978 through present. Whoop. And you can see it definitely, hip fire is pretty good too, being that it is a base SMG. Some of these attachments, as I said, are optional, but it does handle very well. So we are going to cover the carbine variant, also known as the F88C from the Australian Army. In another video, we'll be doing that probably later this week as well. Some more stats on the HBAR, though. Sound out below if you remember this from Modern Warfare 2. It's a quick, the attachment we have on here, it's quick. You can see the ADS speed on this is fast, which is needed for this kind of gun, because the LMGs, besides the PKM, the ADS time is just horrible. There we go. So it handles really well. Muzzle velocity on this is 970 meters per second. Rounds, yeah, rate of fire is 680 to 750 rounds per minute.
Enemy at the bridge.
And again, this rifle can fire the 9mm Parabellum as well as the 5.56, which we are using here in this drum mag. The good thing about this is we have the standard barrel that comes with this. The HBAR takes a 621mm barrel. This is 622. So that fits perfectly, just 1mm over. I'm not sure why they seem to have oddly designed or oddly length barrels in this game that don't really match up to the real life versions, but they're kind of like in between barrel lengths that allow you to make multiple variations. So I guess maybe that's what they're going for with this. And right there, you can see the recoil, we're mitigating the recoil really well with that compensator and some of the attachments we have, so we don't really need to worry. If you're controlling the recoil slightly, you don't need to worry about the muzzle climb too much. And you can just hammer down range like this. See, there's no recoil there. I just fired 52 rounds off straight, which is great. It definitely comes in handy, better than some of the other LMGs besides the PKM. I think it's the best in the game right now, still after the patch, but... There you go. So again, the only issue is we don't have the bipod for this yet. So I'm hoping they add a blueprint or something later on that will allow us to fit a bipod on this and make it an actual HBAR from Modern Warfare 2. We also don't have the carrying handle seen from Modern Warfare 2 as well that we see with usual, like the squad automatic weapons like the M249 and some other light machine guns as well. So let me know what you guys think below. Do you like this variant? Did you use it in Modern Warfare 2? Is this something you've tried in-game yet, or are you just using the SMG variant? Again, if you're interested in the assault rifle build for this, I did do a video, so check that out on the channel as well. And if you saw happen to see what I whipped out there for a secondary, we'll be doing this in another video coming up soon. MP510. I know some of you have been asking for that as well, but some of you asked for this HBAR, so here it is. Be sure to check out my Twitch page. I'll leave that in the description below. We are going to do a live stream on here probably tomorrow here on YouTube, actually. We might switch over to Twitch as well. Tomorrow's actually my birthday, so we're going to do live streams there. It'd be good to hang out with you guys. Thanks again for all the support on the channel. The channel has grown. I think we grew about 1,900 subs in a week and a half, so I thank everybody for that. Really great. And also, if you're not subscribed to the channel and you're liking the content, be sure to sub and like the video. It definitely helps out small channels like myself. Even though we're growing pretty fast, I'm still definitely a very small channel. But I love interacting with you guys, so be sure to sound off below with some weapon builds that you want to see. If you have any ideas you want me to use, be sure to put that below. I think the next series we'll do when we're done with this is probably like play with your builds type series, and I'll have you guys suggest builds, and I'll go ahead and get in game and play with those. And it'd also be cool to do that in some live streams as well, as have you guys just pop in and let me know what you want to see me use. And again, here's that MP510 if anyone's curious. For the MP10, I'm sorry. See the range on that? It's great. Yeah, I love the HBAR. Definitely a great weapon.
All good.
And we actually got a tactical nuke this game. So here we go. So again, if you guys like the content, be sure to like and subscribe. Sound off below with what weapon builds you want to see going forward. I have a couple planned, especially for this weekend and next week as well, so I'd like to get your feedback and know what you want to see. And besides that, until next time, this is Buff Nerd Gaming, out.